Can't lie. Shop anywhere else, LB. Bro, yo, listen. If you want a premium steak, mate, yeah, you go to the butchers or you go Waitrose, bray. And I'm sorry for saying, you're the butchers / Waitrose, mate, and you got that premium steak that we need, mate. Yeah, I don't want no fucking some hanging tough meat, mate. Yeah, pause. Yeah, we need to move on for this. Nah, I went down the wrong path there, boys. I can't lie. Oh no, we need to move on from that one. Get me out the meat shop right now. Get me out the meat shop right now. Nah, that went south real quick. Yeah, I know, boys. I know. Yo, chill. I went the wrong way, boys. I went the wrong way. Get me out of there. Take me to the fruit aisle. Oh, LB's getting fruity. What the hell? You guys are gonna smash these likes up, man. 900 people.
We are missing LB. Is LB back yet? Does anyone know? Is LB back from Ireland? Is he back doing streams again? Because I need to get some new LB clips. Best place to go for clips, people. It's LB. In his LB in his zesty era. Oh, yeah, and 115 raid daps. Ilias, I swear you're champions. What are you doing here, mate? You sound very obsessed with Manchester City. I'm not going to lie. I know we've given you years of absolute fucking pain. What's this? I know we've given you years of pain, right? And do you know what? The fact is, Dash said it's spot on. If people are in here screaming 115, that pretty much tells me that you lot are worrying again, because we all know as City fans, when you lot stop talking about 115, when you lot stop talking about cheats, it's because we're not winning everything. And no, Ilias, I'm not going to look above. And do you know what? If Saeed did send you, yeah, then, yeah, Saeed, hold this. Shout out to MCFC lads for that one as well. Go and check out his content. Right then. It is your Saturday stream. Thought I'd do a quick roundup of where we are with everything. Might have Patrick join me in a little while, might not. In fact, as well, I only want blues on. However, if any blues in the chat want to jump on, turn your camera on. I'm going to post a link right now. Click here to join stream. Sorry, I'm old. I say what I'm typing. There we go. There's the link for the channel. I've just posted it. If anyone wants to join me, Dash, any of the usual suspects want to join me just to have a quick chat, you can do. Happy Saturday, by the way. Hope everyone's ready for the Champions League final. I'm struggling to get excited for it. I'm not going to lie. It's football, but it's not City. It's not an English team. I think the most I can go with this is I don't want PSG to win it because, I don't want it to be, every oil club gets money and wins it. I like the fact that PSG have spent all that money and still haven't won it. So that's probably the furthest I can go with even a rivalry here. But right, let's go through some of the news. Do you know what? So I kind of want Inter to win, but deep down, the football side of me wants PSG to win because I do think PSG have been good this season. So right. I knew my man Dash would join me. What are you saying, bro?
Yes, Daps. All good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. People, 427 of you in there. The likes are below 100. Please. We're a new channel. We're growing. The likes mean a lot. So please make sure you smash that like button. Just check it. If it isn't lit, just give it a quick like. Right. Bro, so much. Actually, what do you think of my bracelet, people? My daughter bought me it. See the blue in it. She bought me it because it's blue. So, for all the way from
That's
Turkey.
nice.
But, yeah. Right. Let's start off with Pep Lijnders. Let's start off with that bit of news because I'm pretty certain the Pep Lijnders has been confirmed, right?
Not officially by the club, but obviously Jack Gore and Fabrizio Romano. But basically just said, he's set to join.
Yeah.
Just a funny daps here. When he got virtually confirmed by other sources, I started looking at different shorts, different clips of Pep Lijnders, explaining what he does as an assistant coach, etc. He's at the other side of the coin to Pep, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Pep, he's very possession based, he's methodical, a bit slow. This Pep Lijnders, the way he does his training regimes, is very based around counter pressing and limiting overload. So he puts a lot of energized work, basic workout with his players, which can constrain players' injuries, of course, which happened at Liverpool. But at the same time, it's so effective in the middle, and I think that's probably a perfect appointment for that reason at the club, because we have struggled with overloads this season, counter pressing.
Facts. The counter pressing this season, the recycling of the ball, the winning the second balls this season has dropped massively. It was, in fact, at our worst point, that was probably the biggest thing I would pick up is how long it was taking us to win the ball back when we lost it. And I think that's a massive thing for us this season. I totally agree with you. I mean, I've just seen someone, guys. Ed's here. What are you saying, Ed? You good? We're just talking on Pep Lijnders. I know some people said, do we really want an ex Liverpool coach? And I do hear you. Listen, I said earlier on, I don't ever want to drink from a cup that them lot have drunk from. But if you look at, I mean, we could say, we want, I don't know, as an example, we want Fernandinho, but Fernandinho hasn't got experience. We're actually going and getting a very experienced coach. And a coach, by the way, that was part of, for me, the best period at Liverpool in our lifetime. So, do you think? I would just think it's quite.
You're on mute.
Oh, Ed, you're on mute.
On mute. Yeah.
Do you think he jumped at the chance as soon as he got approached, or do you think he had to think about it? I was thinking this earlier. I think Lijnders would have jumped it the minute he got the call. I think he would have been all over it. In fact, to come back to the Premier League and work with Pep. He can actually say now he's worked with Pep and Klopp. As far as
you're on me again, Ed.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can hear you now.
We can hear you now, mate.
I think, let's be honest, right? Being on our coaching staff is one of the best jobs in the world as well. If we're being honest, right? And if we're gonna be totally honest, his stint out Salzburg wasn't the best. But sometimes, there are good just assistant coaches.
Facts, big facts.
And I think I was looking at his videos, and me and Darce were talking about it. He's really big on building relationship with players, building confidence in the players, and I think off the back of the season we've had, we kind of need that. And I know some people are concerned about the injury component, but remember Klopp's style compared to Pep's style. I think we might see more tempo in our play in the way we press, because Klopp played more of a counter-attacking team. That means you need to cover more space. That means you need to run more in those type of systems. But when you're more in a possession base and you're pressing from the front, you kind of already there, but you're just adding pressure onto the defense. So you don't have to cover that much ground. So I think the injury component we don't have to be so worried about, but just because of our style of play.
Yeah. Totally agree. I think you're spot on as well with this. You know what? Sometimes people can make a great coach. Doesn't mean they're a great manager, right? I think Henri's a bit of an example of that. When Henri's been kind of assistant coach, I think at Belgium, a lot of players spoke about how good he was with them. But as a manager, no. So I totally agree with you on that. I think it's a positive move. But now let's move on to the transfers. Right. So where are we? Reijnders, we all agree. I think pretty. I mean, I'll be honest with you. From what I've been told out of the club, that Reijnders is done. Reijnders is done.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think Reijnders. I think we get a Reijnders. Here we go on Monday. Maybe even Sunday. You know, maybe Sunday, but I think more than likely Monday. Don't know if anyone's seen. By the way, let me start off with this. If anyone's seen the title of this or the thumbnail for this show, I kind of said very clear, very swift. Khaldoon's made a statement because I think that's very important that we know that. Oh, there's another bit of news. I'll put that up in a minute. I think it's very important that we know that with our chairman Khaldoon, right, and not just the fact he's Manchester City chairman, the person he is overall in globally. He would not. This was not an interview he's done with a journalist that he's said something and then has just been put out. This is an interview he's done with Manchester City. And then that means ultimately that he knows exactly what he's saying. He probably got to prep it before it actually got put out. And he made it very clear in it. Business, very clear, very swift. We want it all done by the Club World Cup. Now, if you're openly putting a statement out like that, you're going to back your statement, right? Because if you don't, then all the City fans and everyone else is going to be saying, bro, you said this and you're not doing it. So for me, I think we all know now, like I've said it, I think we get 3 here we goes next week.
I do see what you mean. I think he's referring to the main ones because you can't get 5 or 6 done. I don't think in 3 weeks you can get it done. I think what he's saying is that the ones that we definitely want. I think it's a mistranslation. The fact that I think, like for example, Cherki, for example, they want Cherki, yeah. Reijnders, they want him, yeah. Ait-Nouri. I think they could get done swiftly, but I feel like Costa, for example, I think he'll be more difficult. I think I'll be more.
I think we'll be shocked, and I think Costa's close to being done. You know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but this is the thing. Since you want the release clause of 75 million euros down to what 40, 35, so that's like a 40 million euro drop to negotiate. Because I won't be surprised if Vian and Mendes gone to Portugal, especially in Porto, to try to negotiate. I think it's a tactic they're trying to do because João Garcia, who's now all about confirmed going to Barcelona by Fabrizio.
Yeah,
I feel like City use it. I think City use it as a smokescreen to try to put pressure on Porto.
Yeah, I think a bit of both. I think he was only ever going to Barcelona. I've said this. I think by the way, I've seen reports that Barca are going to loan him out for a season.
No. That was their plan initially, but in order to get him, they had to promise him first team.
I think he will get no, but I've seen today. Today it's come out apparently that they want to loan him out for a season. I don't know.
That's wrong then.
Well, I mean, look, it's probably because he wants to stay in Spain. I think to be the Spanish goalkeeper, it makes sense for him to stay in Spain. Maybe a loan back to Espanyol. I mean, look, it's ultimately, if that does happen, it's not a move for him. He literally does not have to move house.
I see where you're going with his stuff, but loaning him back to Espanyol, you have to remember that's a Catalonian rivalry, Espanyol and Barcelona. That's like huge over there. It may not be the biggest hype as you think.
It's not huge over there. It's not. It's not as big as it's.
But to Espanyol fan, it is. So they call you City to United, for example. It's not as big as back in the day, but it's big to us. But to Espanyol fan, it's big.
But that wouldn't stop. But what are you saying with that? What, that they wouldn't loan him back?
Yeah, because they know where he's going. He's going back to Barcelona, that means. And so they'll be like, hold on a minute. This guy here has a good transfer to Barcelona, but now they're going to loan back to Espanyol, where his head not going to be fully over there, because they know what they're going to do over there. They're going to destroy him.
No. Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
No. Listen, if he's at Espanyol, his head will still be in the game, because right now the guy's trying to get the #1 Spanish jersey. If he doesn't, he's not gonna not perform. Because
I get what you're saying, but why do the loan move then? It really doesn't make sense.
I'm just saying what it's been reported that he's being loaned back out. That's what they're saying. He's being loaned back out. But either way, I think the main thing for that. Yeah, go on, Ed.
I think it's just going to depend on what they do with Ter Stegen. If they can move it on, if they can move him on, they'll probably come in. If they can't, they might loan him out.
That is the reason.
Yeah.
That is the reason. Yeah.
I've seen Spanish Twitter, yeah, and I've just used some VPN. Don't ask why. And I go onto Spanish Twitter. They want to take it out. It's like I think it's the number 1 trending in Spain. It's crazy.
Yeah, Martin is in Tenerife, and he was saying over there that all he's seeing is to get him out. Mad. How many years service he's put in there and get him out? But hey, right. So I do think Costa's going to get done. I think, look, Ederson ain't gone yet. I think this is probably quite important to us. To this is Ederson going, right? Because if Ederson doesn't go, then I don't think we buy a keeper.
I still think you do, because you might move on Ortega and just bring in somebody.
Right. If we moved on Ortega, I was thinking that. But if we were to move on Ortega, do you think we'd still go for right? Say Ederson doesn't go, Ortega does go. Do you still think we go for Costa?
Yeah, just because Ederson only has a year left on his deal, and if he's not signing long term,
true.
You're going to want to bring in your long term guy. You're not going to wait a year and potentially he's there, he's not there. You're going to want to make sure.
You're right. You're spot on with that, and I hate to say it, but if Ederson doesn't sign a new contract and doesn't leave this summer, then there's no. Right, I don't want to use the word. There's no loyalty to Ederson because of what he's done for us. There will always be loyalty, but at the same time, it's okay. Well, if you're planning on leaving on free in a year's time, then we need to you're going to be our second choice keeper, and we'll bring in Costa and Ederson. I tell you what, Ederson is a backup keeper. Fuck me, that would be mint. But yeah, I think on that. But right, let's move on to the ones we do know. Reijnders, I've been told Reijnders is done. I think we're going to get Reijnders. Here we go on Monday. I really, really do. I'll be a bit surprised if we don't. Cherki, I think it's come out today all over, well, everywhere, that our first bid is going to come in the next couple of days. I think that's what everyone's seen, right?
Yeah.
That's what's
and I've also seen apparently that Pep spoke with Cherki. Cherki likes the project. Cherki wants to join City and has given City his word that he wants to come to City. And I believe also that terms with him, or a proposal has been put to him. He's happy with it. The one thing I heard, the sticking point at the moment, to be fair, is the structure of the pay. The structure of the pay to Lyon.
You mean installments and all that?
Yeah. Apparently, what the City want to do it in installments. Installments of say 7 million a year or something like that. Apparently, so
yeah. I mean, it does think that the fact that I just think they're saving money for the fine for the 115, and I know Martin has alluded to that many times, but I won't be surprised if they're thinking of that.
Yeah. Duh. Bye, Dash. Fucking coming around here with this negativity.
If you look at to bring it in, our wage bill is going to be really cut, because even like a Reijnders, he's only on 75K a week, and we can just offer double his wages. It's the same thing with Cherki. I just checked; he's on 70K euros a week. So we're getting quality players in. Same thing with if we get Nouri, right? We're getting quality players in for 150K a week, around there.
Yeah.
And so that, I think that's going to open up a lot of room for us too.
Yeah, I mean, from what we saw with the Reijnders thing, where did I pronounce that right? I think I did. Did I? Don't know. Anyway, we went in, offered X amount, they rejected it. We went straight back in. You haven't got news for me, have you? No, your food's here. Oh, I thought you were coming out here with news for me. We went straight back in with an extra 5 million, got the deal done. I think I just saw someone say in the comments, we're getting him for cheap, just pay the full amount. I think City are probably trying to do all deals at the moment with a kind of installment point of view. But as long as we don't lose Cherki because of this. Bo, I want Cherki badly, very badly.
Same here. Same here.
Really,
I remember,
badly.
I remember we linked to words here, like a few weeks back here, and I told someone, City are looking at him as a star, let's just say, a superstar signing for the PR. Yeah. And then I said, and someone told me, is he a passing type? I said, no. He's more similar to Foden, Musiala, etc. But from the passing type, who do you want? I said two names: Alex Baena and Ryan Cherki.
Yeah.
Any of those one of those two, I'm taking it immediately because when we must on words here, I said this many times. I don't want a knee-jerk reaction on the 10. If there's no 10 out there that's perfect for us, not perfect, but suited towards what we want to do. No, don't get it. Just get another 8 if you want, or just run Echeverry, or give Oscar Bob or Nico Relief a chance. Yeah. I'd rather have that happen than just spend 17 million on rubbish.
Oscar Bob. I think we're going to see some movement on Oscar Bob this summer.
You mean like moving towards what's it called? Another club or on loan?
Alone.
I won't be surprised, but it depends on what Pep wants to do with him. I'll be honest with you. With Pep here, I feel like as if he understands the homegrown quota, and that's a big conundrum that I think Nobbins obviously done a live stream of it.
Yeah, I need to watch that
yesterday. Yeah, so it's going to be a big conundrum.
Way, but I'm saying this. Listen, I'm not saying that it's happening, but I have been given a bit of information that that Pep knows he has to trim the squad down a little bit. And obviously, there's players that he's accepted can be sold. And there's players that... The positive news here is there's players that he's not willing to let be sold, right? And Bob is one of them. He does not want Bob to be sold. But he knows that where Bob is, with it being out for a year with an injury, that he can't guarantee him game time from the start of the season, and he doesn't want to hinder Bob's development. He feels that maybe Bob being sent out on a loan might be better for him just to get game time. And that, someone just said 6 months. You can do 6-month loans, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
What was he?
6-month loan
you can put a bring back clause in there.
Yeah.
It's fast to get for Bob. Go on, sorry, Ed.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I think the Club World Cup will be big for him.
Yeah.
If we are gonna, I think that would be the decider if we are gonna probably loan him or not.
Yeah. I agree with you, to be fair, but from what I've heard, it's that Pep wants. He knows how important it is for Bob to get game time. He knows how important it is for Bob to get game time. So I think he's just thinking realistically a loaner. I hear it. I do hear it. If we were selling him, I'd be pissed off, right? And I think ultimately, I think the whole fan base would be pissed off. But secondly, it probably isn't the right time. Even if we were going to sell Bob, now is not the right time because his stocks are going to be low at the moment. He's been injured for a year. So I think give him a loan out. Be careful with who we loan him to. Maybe a loan to Girona.
I'll give him a Premier League club instead, a loan. Maybe a Brighton, if possible.
Brighton. I hear that. There's certain Premier League clubs you would. What I don't want is I don't want a loan to fucking a team that's coming up that's going to be playing, low block football for the whole of the season.
No, he's better than that, though.
Exactly. We have to be specific. If we do loan him out, we have to loan him to someone to play a certain style of football. Sorry, bless me. Hay fever's bad today. Right. Then let's move on to this Ederson news. There's come a bit. I think yesterday something came out and everyone said, no, it's fake news. And then today it's come out again, from a reliable source that City are considering a 70 million bid for Ederson. What do you guys, what's your guys' take on that?
I see what. I know we've got Nico G, yeah? We got Rodri. Runners coming in, yeah? Potentially Gibbs White. Where does he fit into this? Now, unless both Kovacic and Gundogan, both of them leave, then I can see this happening. Oh, unless Gibbs White is not happening as well, along with
I
those
think
two being sold.
So I think both of them are. So I think Bernardo Silva is getting a lot of interest from teams in Turkey. I know that Fenerbahce are interested in Gundogan again. And I've even heard that there's a few teams interested in Kovacic as well.
Yeah.
So there's interest in all three of those. I also I've seen that this is if Morgan Gibbs White collapses, Ederson is an option. Which then, do you know why I quite like that? Because do you know what that tells me? That tells me that we have been right with what we've been saying about Morgan Gibbs White. Morgan Gibbs White is not coming in as a 10. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been saying that the whole time, right? Like his profile isn't a 10. He's only playing the 10 at Forest just because of the makeup of their team. But I'm in agreement with the Ederson stuff. I think it's kind of like the Garcia thing, where it's to put pressure on Forest and to let Forest know that we're not going to be sitting around a while you try to go up on the price on us, trying to do all these things. You know, it's like,
well, you think that's what we're doing? I think we might be.
Yeah. That's obviously, this is the thing. You know, Pep Lijnders here, the appointment, you want another engine alongside of it. So whether it's an Ederson or Gibbs White, they both have engines. And that's what probably the demand of that Pep wants.
Exactly that. It does look like we're going for players with engines. Even Reijnders has got one hell of an engine on him. It's, you know what? It's nice to see that something that we've seen as fans all season, the board is seeing as well. And, you know, that we do need legs in the middle of the pitch again. I'll be honest. I don't know much about Ederson. Surprised. I know Man United were interested in him. I think we were interested in him maybe last summer. We were rumored to be in for him. But I think it's pretty clear City want Morgan Gibbs White, right? It's been going on for too long. But I did always say this: Nottingham Forest are not going to let him go for cheap. I think they paid 45 million for him in total, right?
Yeah, it's like 25 plus 20 add-ons, I think, around that type of transfer. So, listen.
Plus, they have a tax with too.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see about midfield, man. I just think Cherki and Reijnders are the main ones that'll just give us a lot of.
I think Cherki and Reijnders. The one that I want to hear a bit more about is fucking Ait-Nouri.
Yeah, I think they want to take care. I think City just prioritizing these two. Yeah, and then once one of these announcements gets done, I think that's when you'll see the Nouri news probably heat up. And that's why I'm in agreement with Darsh that we'll probably bring in a majority of our signings before the Club World Cup, but I still think like our goalkeeper and our right back might drag because of who we're targeting. Those two positions like that.
See, I think that Ait-Nouri is one that we could get over the line quite quickly because we've done business with them before. You know, Nunes, Doyle. So I think we could get that one done quite. And I don't at this point. Hopefully, I don't see anyone else in for Ait-Nouri. Which is, look, I've made it so clear. If we have to drop every other bit of business to go and get Cherki done, then drop every other business, go and get Cherki done, then we move on to the others. But look, the beauty is we've got Tijjani, we've got Viana. Is that his name, Viana? Let's pronounce that right.
Viana.
Yeah, it is Viana. I did pronounce it right. Yeah, we've got both of them. So look, both of them can get involved. Right, there's 536 people in here. The likes are only on 209. Please, people, just have a quick check. Make sure that your like button is lit if it isn't lit already. Appreciate your support with that. Right, I'm trying to think who else we have been linked with.
Can we talk about the right back position? Because I think that's
that's
like the mysterious thing going on right now. We don't really. I think the three names we're probably looking at there is probably going to be Wesley, Cambiaso, or Livramento. And for some reason, I think they're going to try to splash big cash on Livramento. For some reason, I think they are. Because of his age, because he's homegrown, he's a really good player.
I think the homegrown thing's relevant. Look, I think if we're looking at right, so it's come out today that John Stones is going to be allowed to leave. Right now, I don't know how that works. And I think I'm echoing most City fans when I say this. If you think of a fully fit John Stones, then you are thinking of Manchester City at their best over the last couple of years. Like whenever City have been at our best, I'd be 90% certain that John Stones was in that team. But I get it. It probably is time for him to leave. It's a hard one because Stones is a legend to me, cult hero legend. But right, with Stones going, Grealish potentially going, Ortega potentially going, homegrown is a thing. Now, if we're not getting Morgan Gibbs-White, we're going for Ederson now, then we have to be getting someone somewhere. And then that's where Livramento... Look, for me, if we need homegrown, Livramento's probably my number one target.
What do you like Grealish and Livramento swap deal plus cash?
Cash going which way?
So let's just say 35, 45 million plus Grealish for Livramento. Because think about it, yeah, Newcastle probably see Grealish as a commercial investment because this is the thing, they sacked Paul Mitchell for probably a financial reason if you think about it. So if they need money to bring in, Jack Grealish gives like a lot of P's because I remember this in depth, you can correct me on this. In the first 18 months of Grealish being signed towards City, the £100 million fee was got back in an instant. So imagine that for Newcastle. We're looking at Newcastle and thinking, okay, if we're getting 40, 50, 60 million per 6 months for Jack Grealish based on advertisements, shirt selling, etc., why not bank on it?
Yeah, I don't think Grealish's stock is as high as it was when it joined us, right? But knowing Newcastle's fan base would absolutely love Jack Grealish, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not to cut you off. Remember, he was just up there.
Yeah.
And he paid pints for they love him up there.
Well, they would love him. Look, Newcastle would welcome Jack into their open arms, right? But look, right. So they have Harvey Barnes and they have Anthony Gordon. So would they be taking Jack? Would they want Jack Grealish? Right? Do Newcastle want them? Now, for me, he could play in. Someone said it early on. He could play in the 8 or 10 role for them. He really could, and he could cook. And look, if Eddie Howe's been watching him, I don't know. Bro, I'll be honest with you. That would be my perfect. That would just make my summer get even better. I'll be sad to see Jack Grealish go, but I've accepted the fact that it's time for him to move on because there's no point in him staying and not getting any game time. With the players that we are now getting in this window, it looks like, then my whole I want to see Jack Grealish in the 8 or 10 role becomes even less likely, right? Because we bring in Reijnders, we bring in Cherki, we bring in Morgan Gibbs-White. So, Thunderrod, I hear what you're saying. Grealish is not a winger, so Barnes and Gordon are irrelevant. Well, that depends who you're asking, right? Me personally, I agree with you. I prefer Jack Grealish in an 8 or 10 role. However, Jack Grealish is a winger. Let's be clear. He's played on the wing for City. What?
You think he's a left winger?
No. Not where I want him to play, but let's be clear. Jack Grealish has played predominantly on the left wing for Manchester City. Yes, that's not my opinion. That's factual.
Yeah. But Grealish for his career at Aston Villa, he's a free roaming 10.
Yeah,
so if you want to go to any club he goes to, you want to play in the 10 or in the 8, like he said. Now, yes, Pep Guardiola put him at left wing for a stupid reason of wanting to, slow down the tempo, which is just stupid in itself to go get him in that sense. But this is the thing about Grealish, and you know it's from his dad. He values himself more than what Pep thinks of him.
Yeah.
So any club he goes to, he wants to be put in his main position and given a good part of the free roll. So Newcastle, they don't have a 10. He suits directly into that Newcastle team. Yeah, exactly.
Bruno
Let him cook.
right behind him.
Huh?
I say Bruno Tonali right behind them, and they kind of need. They also need squad depth too because of the UCL, and I think they kind of learned that from last time they were in it.
Yeah.
So he brings UCL experience too.
Yeah.
So I think it does fit. You know, Eddie Howe does love English players, so I think it could happen. It just depends, you know, on Jack's side of things with the wage reduction and everything like that. But I think they'll treat him well up there.
Yeah. Oh, they'll love him. They'll love him. And I'll be honest, it will be. I feel like it will be a bit sad the way he leaves. I have heard that he's said he would be open for a move to Man United, and that I don't like that because we love Jack, right? We do love Jack, but I think there's a few hard things with Jack. Firstly, if it's a loan move, we're gonna have to pay half his wage, right? If we pay half his wage to go to a rival, that's a bit awkward. Second thing is, so then you think, I think ideally City would probably love, if it is a loan, to loan him abroad. I did see Napoli links a while ago, but I think now they've got De Bruyne, they'll probably drift off. The other thing is his girlfriend's very happy and settled in Manchester. Doesn't really want to leave the house. But I think Jack knows, like, he's got to leave this summer. I think Jack's gonna be one of the first to go. I think it's just going to be a bit difficult. And I do see, look, Newcastle. The more I think about that, Newcastle with him in the 8 or 10 would be fucking quality. Isaac,
yeah, I know what you're talking about with like a rival, but if we're getting Livermental on the opposite side of that.
Well, that would be that's where that's fine, because if it's a loan, you have to pay the wage. If we're just doing a swap deal, then perfect, because we ain't paying the Grealish wage no more. That gets him off our books completely. Then we have to don't worry, and that would be perfect for me, because I think Livramento would be my number one right target. For you two, would either of you be mad if, say we get Ait-Nouri, if Ederson leaves, we get a keeper. We get Reijnders. We get
Cherki.
Let's leave it at that for now, right? Would either of you two be mad if we don't get right back and we go into next season with Núñez at right back?
Okay, first and foremost, last 2 months, I think we can agree that in terms of the Premier League, he's been one of top 5 wing backs.
Yeah.
Now, with Núñez, I think you'd like to be starting for City, because obviously the World Cup, that's in a year's time, but wants to get into the squad. But I think Pep would like to keep him, but also at the same time, I think with Núñez, he wants to play midfield because that's his position at Sporting. And when he came to Wolves, he was at the left wing and then in the 10, which didn't suit him as much. I think, it'd be a big risk, because you're asking for consistency with Núñez, which he's not got that throughout this season in particular.
Yeah.
So it depends on trust. Do you trust him? If you don't trust him, you got to get right back. But if we get Wesley, then I want to keep Núñez, because I don't know about Wesley as much.
I'm not sure on this Wesley thing. I'm really not sure on this.
Yeah.
There's something about that I don't like. For me, Brazilian fullbacks, I want to see him playing at least in Europe, right? Before we're floating around them. I think I don't know if maybe that Wesley guy, if maybe we get him for a bit less and maybe he's loaned out or something. But yeah, for me, and are we Cambiasso? I know it's gone very quiet, but do either of you think that maybe the Cambiasso thing's reignited in the next couple of days, maybe?
I just think that everything's going to be like a domino. I think if they can't get Livramento, then I think they are going to make a harsh decision between like a Cambiasso or a Wesley.
Yeah.
And I'm not sold on Wesley either. And I would say if you are getting Wesley, you will probably keep Nunez. If you're getting Livramento, you probably will let Nunez go.
What? Let him go completely, not keep him as backup?
No, I would say let him go because also that opens up a foreign spot.
True. Yeah, very true. Very true.
I just think that you have to, I mean, the position where we are with our squad, we have to be smart.
Yeah.
About how we maneuver these numbers. And I know people might not like it, but if Nunez goes and that opens up a foreign spot, fans might not like it, but I think Pep will be okay with playing a center back over there.
Kuznov,
Akanji. I know people might not like to hear those names.
I don't mind hearing Kuznov at right back. I'm here for it. Inject it in my veins.
You just have Kuznov sit there and let Ait-Nouri just go up, right?
Yeah.
But I just think at the same time we have to be smart, and that's why if you get a Livramento and you pay that much, he's your main guy.
Yeah. Oh, 100. Bro, if Livramento comes in, I can't lie. This transfer window at the moment, because I'm playing down the Livramento thing, I can't see it happening. I think the amount they would want would just be too much. But the only thing is, if we don't get Morgan Gibbs-White, it's starting to make me think maybe we will get Livramento because we will need to hit that English quota. Like, it's that homegrown quota. We have to hit it. It's so. Do you know what? So I do kind of see a world. You just touched on it there, where if we have Ait-Nouri, Vardiol, Diaz, Kuznov, Ait-Nouri goes up, and on the left, up top behind Haaland, let's say you have Marmoush, right? That means Ait-Nouri can overlap, Marmoush can come inside a little bit alongside Haaland. That would then allow on the right-hand side for maybe Savinho to start, right? So Savinho holds the width on the right-hand side, but then Kuznov kind of moves more into a back three.
Yep. I was going to mention that.
That works for me. That I've kind of, for me, Kuznov as a right back, yeah, I hear it. He's not a right back, but Kuznov as, look, when Sky put out the lineup, he will be seen as a right back, but ultimately he ain't playing as a right back. He's playing as three at the back, and that would then allow Vardiol to maybe move a bit further into kind of a bit further forward, like he does like to do. So,
yeah, and that's why getting Cherki is smart too, because him and Foden can just play off each other.
Yeah,
on that right hand side, kind of what we saw with KDB. How KDB would go out to the wing and overlap that kind of way. I think you can see similar stuff between Cherki and Foden.
Yeah. And I'd still keep Nunez, by the way, as a utility player. I mean, look, if good money comes in for him, but I'd keep
Would
it.
you take 40 million for him, Daps?
How much?
35, 40?
I think 40 you'd have to. I think if we get off with 40 for Nunez, I think you would, wouldn't you? You'd have to. Especially, look, if we were to get, say we got Livramento, 40 for Nunez, put an extra 30 on top and get Livramento, I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Yeah. But I will say, I think Nunez has been actually, I think
he's a good player. I just think for where we're trying to go, Nunez isn't a starter for me.
No, I hear you on that. Yeah, I do hear you on that. I do. The only thing is, look, he has adapted his game quite quickly. Because we got to remember, he hadn't been playing right back all season. He was playing left wing for a period, then had a long period out. Nunez at right back, since
United game. Remember the United game? Where he got the absolute stinker.
Yeah. I very much remember that.
And then Paris Saint-Germain. Don't forget that too.
Yeah, bro, look, I'm not denying the bozo in him. We've seen it. But we can probably say that on every other player in the team at the moment. I'm just trying to think if there is any other players. So Cherki, I'm just waiting. Do you know what? I have never spent so much time on Twitter as I have recently. Refreshing Twitter, just waiting for some sort of bumper to drop and to see. But I've got this in my head that business never gets done on Saturdays or Sundays. So I'm kind of thinking we're not going to see anything. I guess that's why I think the window opening tomorrow is a bit weird. But I think FIFA, the more I think about this, I think FIFA have incentivized a lot of the teams in this Club World Cup to do business early, because they're really trying to push this Club World Cup, aren't they? They want this Club World Cup to be a big tournament, right? They've put a lot of money into it. Yeah. And if you think about it, whoever we buy, whoever Real Madrid buy, whoever Chelsea buy, the first time any fans get to see them in a club shirt is going to be at the Club World Cup. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the club, FIFA have incentivized it to make us, because we all do seem to be being quite active. Chelsea have gone and got what's his name over the line, Delap, which I think we make 6 million out of that, right?
I think it's 30% of like the salon clause. So I think 9, like 10 million-ish, 6 million-ish. So yeah, we're making some piece off it and that. So.
Actually, question for you both. What do you think about the rumours of Divine going to Ipswich?
Mikasa, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it suits him. If you need to go to a possession-based team. Yeah. If that's the case, because Ipswich, low block, counter-attacking.
But will there be low block counter-attacking in the Championship?
I don't know. That's my honest answer. So I don't know how Ipswich plays.
They weren't before. They were like that's why like United, and that's why teams were looking at him, because in the Championship he had like a possession-based style.
Yeah. So I've just seen it's Mbeumo.
It's Mbeumo.
Him.
Yeah, it's Mbeumo.
Yeah.
It's Mbeumo.
I think they're going to try to. I think the City want to loan him instead, because they saw the situation that what happened with Delap.
Yeah,
and they're like, if we can do the same thing with Mubamba, maybe instead of just getting 10 million plus whatever, they can get 30, 40 million for him.
Yeah, I think there's two ways it could. See, he's right. Bought for 1 million, sold for 10 million. I think there's one step more to this, though, bro. I think that it won't just be bought for 1 million, sold for 10 million. I would imagine it will be bought for 1 million, sold for 10 million with the 25% sell-on clause. Which all of a sudden, it's very fucking good business. Very, very good business. You made 10 million, 9 million profit, and realistically, there's a good chance that they sell him for 30 million. We go and make another fucking 6, 7, 8 million off of that.
Yeah, so the striker market is dead. Like if he has one good year because he's already had a good year at the academy, and everybody's like, wow. But if he has another good year at like a Lille or a Ipswich, he's going to go for good money.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't lie. I actually think I don't know what Chelsea are doing with Delap exactly, right? Because I know they're still being linked with. Hold on, is that true? Because am I right? Was it Callum Doyle that we've got a 50% sell-on clause for?
No, he came back. He came back after his stint at Norwich. So
who's the one that went to Wolves? Was that Tommy Doyle?
Tommy.
That was Tommy Doyle. And Tommy Doyle, we've got a 50% clause on, right? The 50% one is mad. But we did sell him for very cheap. I think we only sold him for 3 or 4 million, but with a 50% sell-on clause. But no, with Delap, do you think he's going to be Chelsea's number one striker, or do you think they're bringing someone else?
I don't think he'll be number one. I just think here with Chelsea, they probably got in a striker just in case, because I think he's happy to be back up. Probably was very interested in Champions League football. If any case or any mate he gets there, so I think that was going to be a pull for him. I just think they want I think it's Ekitike from Frankfurt.
Yeah.
You know, I heard from Ekitike, I heard he's a bad bunny in the dressing room because apparently, and I saw it on Twitter, I forgot what the source was, but some guy on Twitter or something like that said that when he was close to Ekitike in like I think it's the academies in France, they said that he's very arrogant and he likes to flaunt his money around.
We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that right now because if we're believing that, then we're about to buy fucking Cherki, right? We don't believe rumors, right? It don't suit our agenda right now because
that's like Ekitike. That's like Ekitike.
No, I know. If we're believing that on him, we've got to believe it on Cherki. We can't pick which ones we want to believe. Okay, so let's go.
But Cherki's former coach said that he's a good buddy in the dressing room. Have you seen this? He's a good buddy.
This is.
Understand?
This is very positive PR. This is very positive City PR. I get it. Listen, when it's a rumor about a player we want, they've got no attitude. But if they're going to Liverpool or Chelsea, then their attitude stinks. Right, I hear it.
I'm just going about the reports, mate. So listen, don't shoot the messenger.
I am intrigued because I can't see why Delap. Well, I do. Look, Delap's. I've been saying for 6 months at least, Delap will end up at Chelsea. Joe Shields is trying to recreate everything he had at that academy, and let's be real. Listen, Cole Palmer and Delap cooked. They cooked together. Right, and even with Lavia as well. Like, so Joe Shield is bringing that band back together. But I'm just intrigued if Delap has been told if he's going to be their first choice. I could see a world where he isn't their first choice. They go and get maybe a Gyökeres, but I could see a world where Delap plays himself into being first choice.
Yeah, I think Delap has that type of mentality, and he does have good relationships with kind of key figures over there.
Yeah.
And I think he's more of like I think for Chelsea, he's more of like an insurance piece because because Ekitike, they're fighting out with Liverpool for him.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of European clubs interested in Gyökeres. If people don't know that, there is a lot of
there is.
So if you miss out on those two, Delap isn't a bad option to have if you do miss out on those two.
Yeah.
And I think Jackson is kind of important here. If you see Jackson getting linked, Jackson will have to go if they do bring anybody else. So it'll be interesting, man. But I think he backs himself.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's one of those ones where he gets game time with Cole Palmer. They're gonna be active together, very active. I think Delap for 30 million is good business. I think. I mean, I feel for Ipswich a bit. How much do they pay us for Delap? Does anyone know?
Around 15, 20 million, I think, for Delap. Around that.
Yeah, I would say 15.
Hold on, let me have a quick look.
Yeah.
Hold on, transfer market.
So altogether, we might have made 25 million off Delap.
Well, that's what I'm just trying to work out. So Delap, hold on, where is it? Where did it say? Did it say on here? Transfers. Oh no.
And, Khaldun was talking about it on too. I know people don't like Tiki and all this other stuff, but our academy, like how he sells our academy, is top notch.
Right. So. Yeah, Bo. I mean, look, the truth is, we are doing what Chelsea have been doing for years, right? We're making money off of our academy. The absolute gems we try and filter through, right. So I'm seeing on this, are people saying that we sold him to? Hold on, I need to find out the fee that we sold him for. Google. Please make sure you smash
on Transfermarkt.
Yeah, that's what. Where am I looking on transfer market? Let me see.
Just type his name.
Yeah, got it. Now I got it. Fee 17.85 million, right? Euros. So we sold him to Ipswich for they paid 17 million for him. They're getting 30 for him, but then they're having to give us about 9. Ipswich haven't made no fucking money on him. Ipswich haven't made no money on Delap. Fuck.
It's because they got relegated, man.
But no, that's what I thought. Ipswich would have held out for a bit more. It just seems mad. They've hardly made any money, and he is a baller. Look, left foot, right foot, head. Yeah. I really do think he could be a success at Chelsea. Right, well, we will be here, people. We are waiting for more news. I'm hoping tomorrow with the transfer window opening, there's going to be something actually dropping, but I don't think there will be. So maybe Monday. Listen, Monday's going to be active. I think Monday's going to be a very, very busy day. I think this might be one of the busiest transfer windows of the year. Of the Premier League history. You know?
Yeah. Of course it's going to be.
I mean, we already got the record.
And I don't just mean with us. Well, yeah.
Verse broke the record, right? So we already got a record deal.
Yeah, the fact Liverpool are getting involved in it fucking tells us it's going to be a busy transfer window. Because if even Liverpool is spending money, oh shit, yeah, you know what? You're right. Goal of the season. Great point. That goal of the season. Recency bias, or would you agree with it?
I'd agree with it. In terms of the range it was at, the curve, the dip. The dip on that.
You know what, bro? I don't even speak on the curve. I speak on the dip, but you're right. It was dipping and curving. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing Marmoush next season. This is where, for me, slightly sometimes, when people talk about Rodrigo, I think, look, if we end up getting Rodrigo, I'll take Rodrigo all day long. But I don't think we need Rodrigo. I think Marmoush is going to cook next season. I think he's going to absolutely cook.
How many goals do you think he's going to get, Daps?
What, all comps?
All comps.
$32.
Yeah, I think he's going to get 20. I think he's going to get you 20 Prem goals. I'm not going to.
20 Prem.
Oh.
I think he's going to get you 20 Prem.
Yeah, I mean, that would be about right. Yeah, 20 Prem.
You know, I'd say about 12, 13 in the Premier League, at least 7 in the Champions League, and maybe 2 or 3 in the Carabao Cup or FA Cup, and maybe a lot of maybe like a bit more assists, and maybe 10 or 15. I just think he's going to bang next season. Like with Marmoush, it doesn't matter where you put him. Doesn't matter on left wing, right wing, in the 10, even up front. Doesn't matter. He's an attacker that wants to score goals, and he's good on the feet too. So we're getting someone. Listen, in January, we signed a top talent. Yeah, and Ryan Cherki with in the 10, altering our right wing with him, and then Holland, he can get fed. There's no excuse for Holland, by the way, next season. He's got to score the goals because the season got to come by.
Big facts. See, bro, he's going to get a lot of delivery out, and I also think that one thing that maybe we've missed a bit this season as well is so many threats. We've become very patient, right? But with limited threats. Whereas already you're looking at, Haaland, Marmoush, Cherki. If Bob does come back, Reijnders, of course. Ait-Nouri is a threat. All of a sudden, it's giving defenses so much more to think about. Having a runner like Ait-Nouri is massive. Having someone that's just... all of a sudden, a lot more space will, and the beauty of that is it just creates space for everyone else. All of a sudden, you're leaving right. Well, I've got to mark Haaland, I've got to mark Marmoush, and that's leaving space for Cherki to fucking expose or Ait-Nouri. Yeah, I can't lie. So far, I'm liking what the board are doing. Look, we've got over and. Actually,
you not sack the board, Daps. You not sack the board. Get rid of everybody.
Am I fucked? Look, let me ask you one last question. Wirtz or Cherki and another midfielder? Which is better business?
If you're asking me before the window's a month ago, and looking at the profile, like I said earlier, if you're a superstar, then it's throwing Wirtz because obviously the PR that goes around it. But he's a lot more similar to Foden, Musiala, and not to Kevin De Bruyne. If you want an all-rounder 10, then it's Cherki. And he's very cheap. So even if it doesn't hit, you'll be like, all right, we tried a risk on it, and he makes sense. So me for Cherki and Reijnders, they both interlink so well. And to push onto that agenda that I have with words here, he wouldn't suit City because you know why? The Marvel blocks we have here, he doesn't get the majority of his dribbling assets in the box. Whereas in Liverpool, because they're so used to breaking down teams with explosiveness, he'll be able to exploit that space. We create space, they exploit it. It's a difference in both teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I think Cherki against a low block works better than Florian. I genuinely do agree with you on that. Right then, people, we're going to wrap it up here. Hope everyone has a good Saturday evening. Enjoys the Champions League, whether he's supporting Inter or PSG. You guys, you got anything you want to shout out?
Oh, I just want to add that I know some people worry about Haaland, but I think when Haaland sees the amount of service he's getting, he'll be more bought in and he'll work more. I think we see Haaland at his best when he feels like he's going to get those balls because he's going to run more. And I think that's going to help out with the press too because he knows, okay, if we get a turnover here, I got people that can deliver me the ball.
Yeah, big facts. Big facts. Yeah, I agree with you, bro. Do you know what? The fact that Khaldoon came out and said Haaland's chomping at the bit, we wanted to carry on. I think, look, players like Haaland and most City players, to be fair, but Haaland is definitely one. That guy's mentality is elite. He won't have been happy with this season. And I can imagine in what, 2.5 weeks' time, when the players link back up for the Club World Cup, I can imagine Rodri and Haaland looking at each other and going, we're having it, ain't we? We're fucking having this one. We've got to make... I think the whole squad will be like, we've got a lot of making up to do and it starts now. Like, it don't start in August. It starts with the Club World Cup. Because do you know what? The closer we get to it, the more I'm thinking, do you know what? Not just the money and the amount of money, but to be able to say we won the last Club World Cup with the defending champions as it went into a new era and we won that as well. That's some big kahunas to be able to say that. Like that, I hate to say it, but that is kind of heritage. If this tournament is going to become a big tournament, to say we won the first one and we won the last one of the old way, that's massive. That's massive.
Yeah.
Anyway, people, right, we are out. I will be back tomorrow at some point, hopefully with some breaking news. But on that note...